spook easily stung.
Have you ever explored the depths of fear? Have you ever wondered what depravity dwells within the imagination of a storyteller that prompts them to exhume horrors untold and expose those horrors to unsuspecting audiences? Some are repulsed, and some are shaken. However, there are those who are invigorated. So to those demented souls, we invite you to journey inward into the dark bowels of human imagination. Press play, and you will discover what's in the podcast.
The Jennings family has just moved to the small town of Canaima. It's the perfect place.
Goodbye crime, goodbye grime.
Except for one pesky little problem.
I have a
terrible fear of spiders. Come on, we live in the country now. It's time to work through this irrational, paralyzing terror.
It's not irrational.
Jeff Daniels.
Honey, we're in the living room. We need you to kill a spider.
And John Goodman.
Bill McClintock, Infestation Management.
Oh, my God, it's just a spider.
Would anybody object if I tore this floor out?
I would.
False alarm, then lead on. There's no spider here.
There's a rumor going around that some kind of spider might have killed Sam Metcalf.
Doubtful.
Spiders make convenient culprits.
There's no spider here.
I think one of your Venezuelan spiders hitched a ride here.
They spread out from a central nest in a web-like pattern and dominate the entire area. When that happens, this town is dead.
They're uncork my private stock.
Rock and roll! Hollywood Pictures and Amblin Entertainment present Arachnophobia. 8 legs, 2 fangs, and an attitude.
Perk up, Lloyd. If we find the spider that did this, you can arrest him.
And welcome back to another edition of What's in the Podcast, and we are trucking along with Nature Strikes Back Again month. This time around, we are getting creepy and crawly with it. Last year, we tackled little critters with no legs when we did slugs, and now we are going octagonal with it with 8 legs. And we are talking about the one movie that pretty much lived up to its title when it came to the effect it had on the audiences and when it first came out. And funny enough, much like what Jaws did for sharks, this one definitely did for spiders. That's right. Today we are talking about Arachnophobia, directed by Frank Marshall, starring Jeff Daniels, Julian Sands, John Goodman, Harley Jane Kozak. Ooh, damn, hell of a cast in this sucker. Damn. I had it. It was gone. Now it's gone. Anyway. but Creepy crawlies aren't the only thing returning for Nature Strikes Back Again month. We are bringing back our good friend Ivotres from Horror Movies and Beyond, who was such a wonderful guest for our Deep Blue Sea. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Hey. You were another one of the ones I just immediately took priority. It's like, talk to Ivotres. Gotta know. You gotta know if they. So, but though I admit, I was surprised you chose Arachnophobia. So, the first big question: what prompted you to choose this one?
Because I actually like the movie. I mean, I think I've seen all of the movies on that list, but Arachnophobia just stuck with me because I do not like spiders. I don't have a phobia. I just don't like them. I just don't like them because I don't know, because there are safe ones and then there are, some you stay away from, but they all look alike to me. They're all scary and I don't want to ask them, hey, are you poisonous or something? I mean, I know they call them the daddy long legs. I know they're they it's good to have them in your home because daddy
long legs are very gentle. It's a great way to kick off this particular one because I did talk when we did our age-old fears talking about creepy crawlers and all that. Spiders was a major point of discussion, especially because Infested had just come out that time. But I can go ahead and reiterate some things. For me, when I was a little kid, I definitely did have a fear of spiders to the point where I was screaming bloody murder, whenever I saw one. And unfortunately, while my house was being built, or my dad was building our house, we lived in a trailer, and as such, you were going to inevitably have spiders crawling around. So my brothers very sadistically loved anytime they found a big old huntsman spider around, which is despite appearances a very friendly species, despite the fearsome appearance. So it was pretty much up until 4th grade when we were doing our science projects. I decided, you know what, let's talk spiders. Let's because even amidst that fear, I was intrigued by them. So I did a whole big science project, just delving into spiders, delving into the mythology, and also talking about the differentiation of certain species, especially like which ones are venomous, which ones are benign, which ones spin webs, which ones just simply pounce on their prey, all that stuff. And that alone is why I advocate exposure therapy.
Yeah, I've seen all kinds of spiders, but I stay away from all of them. Even
Hmm.
the daddy long ones. I just don't like spiders.
Yeah.
Like I just don't like them.
I
I mean,
mean,
I'm not scared. Okay. Okay, I just don't like them. I don't know how else to say. Like I don't have a phobia like like you won't see me do that. I just they're just so weird looking.
mm,
Any with extra legs, I don't know, anything like that. I just don't like.
mm. Well, I mean, so evidently you don't, as Jeff Daniels' character, you don't freeze up and and like have
No.
involuntary paralysis or anything like that.
No, I'm trying to figure out a way to get rid of it. It depends on what it is. Like if it's just sitting there and it's a big one, I'm gonna find a way to get rid of it. But then when you leave to go get a tissue or something to get rid of it, it's always gone.
Yeah, no, the classic method, just plastic cup and a card underneath, sliding a card underneath. Good way to do it. Always works. Um, Though, funny enough, but there's certain ones, certain species that have recently become very popular when it comes to like how they're kept as a pet. Like right now, jumping spiders are actually becoming very popular as pets because they're tiny, and actually, if you look at them really close, they actually are kind of cute.
They are kind of cute.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna give the shout out now. There's a wonderful TikTok channel, I think called Mini Robo Puppets.
Who would even want it? Wait, never mind. Never mind.
Mariah Carey is always watching.
Here we go.
Listening. No place is safe from her surveillance.
Come on, Sid, surveillance.
She sees you when you're sleeping.
That's Santa Claus.
I must dismantle the recording.
Are you okay?
Device.
Are you okay? Sid.
How could one be okay at a time like this?
Well,
No one can be trusted.
Sid.
Not even.
Sid, it's springtime. Isn't she supposed to be like in her burrow until November or something?
She never rests.
But other than that, I do get, though I can understand how some people would feel terrified of spiders because it is a known fact that if certain species, if spiders were like bigger than as we know them now, like if they were like the size of like dogs, like even just like terriers, uh, and a lot of them were that size, humanity would be in big trouble. Would be in pretty big trouble. So yeah, that's scary, and especially if you also know how they eat, how they feed, and all that stuff.
Mhm.
It's pretty scary. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it
Yeah.
completely.
Not to mention like just that there's actually two other species that they said that of insect, if it was as big as dogs or even cars,
Yeah,
we would not survive.
yeah,
That would be the praying mantis
yeah.
and the ant.
Which, funny enough, both have classic Burt I. Gordon giant bug movies attached to them. Of course, we got them and the Deadly Mantis. I mean, the
Mhm.
Deadly Mantis, that sucker was the size of a freaking kaiju. So I mean, it doesn't matter what bug it is. If it's the size of a kaiju, we're in trouble. But I mean, but the one thing I can also tell you about spiders is that it's also just given Earth's gravity, it is physically impossible for spiders to have grown to a, they would have to go through years of evolution, adapting to an environment where the only available prey is way bigger than them. Um, but the problem is spiders cannot get to any kind of really huge size because their exoskeletons would weigh them down and they
Mhm.
would pretty much die of suffocation as a
Yeah,
result.
pretty much. So I think I think there's two really big species of tarantula. There's a
Hmm.
bird eating,
Yep.
um, and I forgot what the other one was. It's anyway, but there's
Well,
two that's really big, and
yeah. Well,
they get big as dish plates
yeah.
when they
The
spread out.
And it's funny you mentioned the Goliath bird-eating spider because that was the one that was used for the wide shots
Hmm.
for the the general, as he's called in the movie, but he's known on the production as Big Bob because
Yeah.
that's what they called him. But yeah, the Goliath bird-eating spider was the main one because it is the at that time, I believe it still is considered to be the largest walking spider on Earth. Though, yeah, I don't know the other one. I know there's camel spiders. Those suckers can get pretty big.
Oh, those don't they chase after you? I heard
Yeah,
they
those
actually
are.
come at you. They don't run away. They come.
Yeah, no, those are notoriously aggressive. The only spider though that is where its venom can be like taken very seriously, where it's like, yeah, get that treated immediately, is the funnel web spider, which Peter Jackson based Shelob on when he did Lord of the Rings. And it's understand and a lot of it is because he himself is an arachnophobe, and a lot of it is because the funnel web spider is probably one of the like, yeah, what you gonna do? Like, huh? What you gonna do, bitch? Like if you see one.
If
They,
you see it, because they're they're in their funnels.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, a lot of times they'll even like they're the reason why I've heard like people in New Zealand like they make it just common practice to shake out their boots
Oof.
like all the time. Yeah,
Mm,
because of that. So, yeah, but we'll get a lot further into the varieties of spiders in this movie. So let's go
mm,
ahead and talk about the movie itself, Arachnophobia. This was the directorial debut of Frank Marshall, which prior to this point, he was pretty much Spielberg's go-to guy for producing. He produced like pretty much most of Spielberg's big titles, and
hmm
this was I believe this is the inaugural um, film of Amblin Entertainment. I think Spielberg's first production company when it kicked off.
mm.
Actually, no,
Yeah.
not
No, no,
Amblin,
no, no. It's it was
Hollywood Pictures.
yeah, Hollywood Pictures, and that was from Disney.
That's right. That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
Because it was during that period where Disney, because they realized it was a bad move to make serious films under the Disney label,
Yes.
they decided, well, let's just have like these side production companies so that way we can have plausible deniability. If people are like, oh, whoa, what is that? Oh no, it's like, wait, that wasn't us. That wasn't us,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So it's
Yeah,
kind
that
of
was their
funny.
debut film. That was the first one, I believe.
Yeah, and go figure, they go the route of horror, but um, well, they try to market the film as a thrillamedy,
Mm.
which they didn't realize. You do realize horror comedy is a known subgenre. You could just call it that,
Mm.
but I guess they wanted to veer away from horror because like, oh no, take it away. So, treating horror like a spider in and of itself.
Yes.
Yeah. So they decided to call it a thrillamedy when it's like, no, bitch. Yeah, horror people call it a horror movie. Hell, it was the first movie to win Best Picture at the Horror Hall of Fame when that was airing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I missed when they did. Do you remember that, the Horror Hall of Fame?
I do. I kind of remember that. What? How long?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of remember, but then I don't. So I don't know if it just I wasn't really into horror like that at the time, or is it just
Yeah.
didn't stay around too long?
Yeah, for those who are not in the know, the Horror Hall of Fame it wasn't so much a award ceremony, but it was pretty much honoring what was going on in horror at the time, like in that year. So it was kind of
Hmm.
like a nice, and it always aired on Halloween night, if I remember correctly. And it was always like kind of like a nice big salute to what was going on in the world of horror at that time. And commonly it was hosted by Robert England. And it went on for like 4 years, if I remember correctly. But it never ever happened again after that. But they always did a big like honorarium of what was like they considered to be the best horror film of that year.
What year was this?
Oh man, this is in the no, well,
It
Arachnophobia
had, is it
came out in
90s?
yeah, this came out yeah, Arachnophobia came out in 1990, so yeah, this was in the early 90s.
That's why I don't really. It sounds like I heard of it, but I don't
Hmm.
remember.
Oh yeah, and cool, and I think it's awesome. You can find the old episodes on YouTube.
Oh, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to check that out.
Oh yeah, they're actually pretty cool. They even have a great segment where they honor do a lifetime achievement for Vincent Price.
Mm,
Yeah. Oh, it was lovely.
okay.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
lovely ceremony. So yeah, arachnophobia was embraced heavily by the horror community, and it was a surprise hit when the time came out. So, and to this day, it's pretty much considered to be, when it comes to spiders, it really is considered like the best of its respective killer animal. So, I think to kick off, I mean, why do you feel that is specifically with arachnophobia?
I think because they use real spiders.
Okay.
I think they were from New Zealand.
Some of
Some like
them, some of them were, yes.
okay, some of them were. I
Yeah,
think it was the specific ones that were crawling around all
yeah.
the time, like you always see. And they're very docile. And they're
Hmm.
very um not as vicious as they may look. So
Yep.
they did a lot of things to make them move around because they really don't move unless they have to. So they would put things on the ground or furniture polish or something to keep them
Hmm.
like if they're moving, oh, they won't go that way. They hurry up and go this way. And but I just love the fact that they use real spiders. For the most part, obviously they use some for when they killing them, they're not real and things
Yeah.
like that because they actually had I believe some type of zoologist or something that was on the premises to make sure all the actors and the crew knew exactly how to handle them
Hmm.
because they did not want any of them to be hurt or killed for something that could have been preventable. So I thought
Exactly.
that was pretty, like, they took it very, very seriously and they had quite a bit. But once they were done with them, they couldn't send them back because of quarantine. So I'm
Mm.
wondering what they do with them. I couldn't
You-
find what they did with him after that, but they use a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, no, you actually hit it on the head. The spider in question that played the primary like spawn, the initial spawn, were called Avondale spiders, and yes, they were known. Then a lot of it is because, and the reason why in auditioning, they flat out did an audition process for what kind of spiders they were going to use, and they had
Hmm.
to find out which ones can stand up to the cold, which ones can stand up to the best of the warmth, which ones can quote unquote take direction. Um, and that was the one that just kept doing it. And they were handled by famed entomologist Stephen Kutcher,
Mm.
and he kept them all as pets.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no, he kept them all because he himself was an experienced spider wrangler.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and yeah, because spiders have highly developed olfactory senses, they put down stuff like lemon pledge, but they also sometimes they would just put magnets underneath them, like put a little attached to a little bit of metal, just do move them over here.
Hmm.
Yeah, they did a whole bunch of stuff. They relied on real spiders as much as logistically was possible, but
Hmm.
a lot of it also is because the people working on the film very clearly could feel safe around them because they knew, despite their crab-like feature, because yeah, they also
Yeah.
know them because ostensibly they seem fearsome because they have the very long, sinister crab-like legs, but in
Hmm.
reality, they're actually pretty cuddly.
Yeah. I see. I don't know if I would have survived that movie if I was on there because,
Hmm.
like, I don't like spiders, but just even if I knew they were docile, it's just there.
Yeah.
My
I do
fear
have
would have been real.
a sneaking suspicion. Well, I'm pretty sure everyone involved with the production. I wouldn't be. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have cast anybody in this movie if they had some kind of aversion to spiders. I'm. I mean, all these were pretty high-end actors. I think their careers would have been plenty stable if they said, no."
Well, I wonder did they audition the actors with the spiders? Because I feel like they can audition and have some kind of fake thing there and be like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
it's, and then, but when they get on set and it's like, you got to practice your shot, so I wonder did they actually, as they were auditioning, they would show people certain one, like here, handle
Yeah.
this, or can you be around him? How do you feel? Because that would
Hmm.
be pretty, especially using kids too.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I did notice with the kids scenes, a lot of times with the kids, especially the scene with Ross Jennings' daughter with Bunny Beechwood when they're in the bedroom, a
Hmm.
lot of those shots they're not even in the frame for a lot of those shots. So I think they just were very strategic about the way they kept the kids in shots. I think the only time you really see the kids being in the room with them is just the big final swarm. But even then, I noticed that they're very strategic with the shots that the kids are in beforehand. So I'm wondering if that was a major factor. Jeff Daniels said that he was okay with spiders, with this, especially with the Avondales. But according to what they were also saying is that the Goliath bird-eating spider, Big Bob,
Yeah.
that one apparently that was like the Jared Leto of spiders to Jeff Daniels. Somehow, some way, it knew that it was that Jeff Daniels was playing a character who was an arachnophobe, and he's like, "Bitch, I'm gonna make you scared of me. Let's do this. Come on."
So yeah, because when I haven't seen this movie in like forever, and I watched it a couple of times as a kid. So rewatching it as an adult, I was like, wow, he is really around these spiders, especially
Mhm.
that big one that was literally like right here. And I was
Yeah,
just like, I wonder, was he acting? Because, or how, what were they telling him? Don't move, because that one has a nasty bite.
yeah,
That one bites.
yeah.
Or,
Well, yeah, and that was actually kind of a cool combination of practical with, well, one thing they had to do because the Goliath bird-eating spider does have a small abdomen, they added an
yeah.
appliance to his to basically give him a butt worthy of Sir Mix-a-Lot. So and they also did like some purple markings, just kind of sell the exoticism of this particular strain of spider because, and you know what? We haven't even done the synopsis yet. So go ahead and give us the synopsis of arachnophobia.
Okay, I'll just read it.
All right.
A new species of South American killer spider hitches a lift to a California town in a coffin and starts to breed, leaving a trail of death that puzzle and terrify young Dr. Jennings, who has nearly arrived in the town with his family. And by the time, like, I have a theory about
Mhm.
him and his family, but I'll
Uh,
save it to the end. We're close to
okay.
the end.
Conspiratorial headcanon about the San Francisco family doctor. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
juicy. Sounds juicy.
I see it with adult eyes now. Like, oh, okay.
I love it. I love it. Oh, very yes, very very nice, very nice. Yeah, yeah, so the movie begins in Venezuela, which I remember all the advertising material in this movie made this movie really gave emphasis on the comedy side of it.
Hmm.
And funny enough, a lot of John Goodman stuff is in the trailers because they really wanted to sell big burly fat exterminator versus an army of spiders. They were making that like going as a oh derp oh it's a big
Yeah.
you can imagine when I saw this movie when I was a kid that all that the complete tonal whiplash disparity between the trailer and the actual movie when we're in this big, grand, sweeping, very sweeping landscape of Venezuela, and we're like, are we sure we're watching the same movie here?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know, it remind me, it's had so much feel like Jurassic Park.
yeah,
Like
which is funny.
the
They're not
guy,
using it.
I mean, it kind of the same thing. Like you have this guy traveling to get to somewhere to talk to someone about doing something they have no business doing. And then
Mhm.
in this one, you have this photographer traveling to somewhere to talk to this doctor, and they get in a helicopter and go somewhere. So it's kind of like the same thing, but then again, it is Steven Spielberg. So he's
Yes,
like, yeah, it's his I guess is his signature mark on how to start anything. But even the dialogue was kind of like, when I'm a kid, I was like, oh, this is cool, but the dialogue was a little cringy at times and ridiculous. But
I would definitely say cringy in terms of just the way people were treating each other. Julian Sands as Dr. Atherton, cold ass dick. I mean, the photographer comes out saying like, "Yeah, I was in Caracas for a little bit because I had a high fever. Oh, let's go ahead and go to a hot, humid freaking jungle.
yeah,
That'll
he
help."
said, get sick on your own time.
Yeah, freaking dick.
Like, what? There
I
was
mean,
some. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, no, I feel yeah. Julian Sands. This was my first exposure to him. I had not seen Warlock yet, so
Really?
at that time, well,
Oh,
I was 9 at the time.
oh, okay.
Bear in mind, the Warlock was definitely not age appropriate. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. The one among the first bits of eviality he does, he bites out a guy's tongue. You know, I mean, come on,
Well,
fun for the
well,
whole family. Bring the family.
see, I've seen all kinds of stuff, but by that time I saw Warlock, and
Mm,
there's three of them. I saw all three.
yeah, I've heard
Um,
the second one's a lot of fun.
the second one is a lot of fun. The third one was I don't. They were just marketing.
Yeah.
They were just milking it at
Yeah,
that point. But
I do need to watch the second one because I love the first movie. I love the
yeah,
first movie. It's great. So
yeah, it
I gotta
is.
get
It
around to
is
watching it.
great. But
Yeah.
yeah. So, but there was something he said. I had put like the opening scene where Dr. Atherton, his assistant from the first, not the second assistant, not
Hmm.
the photographer, but that, and and everybody else that was with him when he was in Venezuela. But he was like, they were like scared to go. They did not want to really go into there because of, whatever they heard was in there. He was, and his assistant was like, aren't you scared or something's going to happen or you're going to die? He said, those who climb the mountain never return, but don't worry. We small game hunters don't climb. We
We
fly.
fly, and then we get a
I
big
was,
sweeping, or which I gotta give it. The score in this movie is amazing. Actually, the score is great. Um, yeah, and well, see, this is one thing that always I feel like people don't seem to get when it comes to killer bug movies is if you treat it like a B movie, people are only going to approach it like a B movie. The thing I got to give to this movie, they don't treat it at all like a B movie
mm-mm,
premise. They treat this like a bona fide movie. Like they're wanting to tell a serious story. And the thing that really works in this case, knowing what we know, that even the most venomous species of spiders have a bite that can still be treated even after an extended period of time. I love that they found a way to give us a threat and give us a credible reason as to how this threat is possible. And and even better is that they didn't resort to the classic tropes of like, oh, toxic waste or anything like
mm-hmm,
that. It's funny enough that, well, it kind of goes back to a lot of what paleontologists have said. Like back in the Stone Age, there were spiders that were pretty damn huge because it was competing with a lot of bugs that were like huge as well. So to think that there are certain species of spiders that are shut off from the rest of the world for like millions of years because they kind of stake their claim in a remote area and just
mm-hmm.
they have no reason to leave that area because it's like, hey, this is our, I guess it's like the Crips and the Bloods of Spider World, kind of, kind of thing.
Yeah, and they don't have much human interaction. So
Yeah,
even when they were, climbing down into this one area, even the guide was like, okay, you can go, but I'm not.
yeah,
It's like, we're good.
yeah,
So yeah, if I'm going somewhere and the guide is not
yeah,
coming, best believe I'm leaving with the guide.
yeah,
I'm not going. So
absolutely. And he has that look like going.
I know he was
I get this
like,
feeling that I don't think he was expecting them to come back out. I think he was like going, yeah, spiders like white meat. You go enjoy that. Yeah, come on.
and then I like how, I mean, little bits of it, if people pay attention, is they're saying like there are so many insects that haven't been discovered.
Hmm.
They're still discovering new insects. So that made it more plausible that this could happen,
Yeah.
so the which, then it falls down and it looks, like what is this? And but then nothing really has effect to it.
Hmm.
And so it's like, because they don't, it's like, oh, this should, knock out an elephant, but this one's in there, it's like just
Well, yeah,
chilling in there for a while. It took a
yeah,
long
they,
time.
yeah, other podcasts have pointed out that like here's an entomologist. Now, an entomologist, I guess, is not the same thing as an environmentalist, because I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
an environmentalist would not be spraying pesticides, willy-nilly in a remote area. That's just a bad first impression, like you go in there and the first thing you do is fart in their front yard. Come on, people. Come
Yeah,
on.
that was a little weird. But
Yeah.
then there was something I read, like how they were falling. It said in
Mhm.
real life, spiders that large falling would just shatter because
Yeah.
they just couldn't, the weight of them and their exoskeleton could not handle that kind of
Mhm.
impact.
Yeah.
So they really had to make it more believable and that this is a new species that,
Yeah.
no one's seen. So yeah.
Precisely. No, no, that is another great fact. Spiders do not have a traditional muscle fibers. I mean, their motor systems is kind of pressure based
Hmm.
in a lot of regards. It's legitimately fascinating. So yeah, in order for us to really kind of credibly believe that this is kind of an uber spider species, there's a good way to set it up. Like this poison that should have killed them. It's like, nope, they just sleeping, or they were just Trojan horsing. Yeah. kind of thing.
As you're watching this, as they're like, realizing, okay, they found these new species, and the guy is like burning up from a fever, you get a glimpse of
Yeah.
the general with the eyes like looking
Yeah.
at him. I'm like, how does it know? And then it's like as they're leaving, it's crawling and then it stops. I like how they use the camera as if it is, the spider walking towards it.
Yeah.
It kind of knows when to stop and then hitch a ride. I was like,
Yeah.
that
No,
was
this is very
crazy.
clearly of an intelligent species. I mean, the thing immediately was like had the photographer Manley on his radar when he saw him squish at one of the other spiders, and he's like,
Mm. Oh
my name
yeah,
is
the general did see that. That's when it went
yeah,
to him.
and you
Okay.
hear him hissing, and I was like, the whole part where he crawls up on Manley and his cot and like going, my name is Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Pretty much, and he jumped on the thing and then got into the bag. Like it just knew where it was
Yeah.
going. It
Well,
was just such a
yeah. See, the other thing I think really does work with this movie, and by extension, this is why the movie Infested so later on worked so well, is that the movie understood all the traditional ways that people have encountered spiders and what probably creeps them out to begin with. Among the first major things this spider does is crawl into Manley's cot while he's trying to sleep, crawling right up and yeah, pretty much biting him, almost unprovoked. And then yeah, that bite kills him like right then
I
and
like how they make you see the bites.
yeah.
Like deep, like oof.
Yeah, and it does that great squeal like right before it does,
Yeah, it's
kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that looks painful. Very
Yeah.
painful. I've never been bitten by a spider.
Yeah, I've never been bitten by a spider. I do know that a lot of times when you get bitten by a spider, it doesn't show up a lot of times it'll show up just like what appears to be just like a sting or something like that or nothing else. But then like if you let it linger, sometimes it can grow bigger and bigger and bigger. I remember Lynn was telling me an incident where they got bit by a brown recluse. And at first they thought it was a zit, but then as it got bigger, they had to go to the doctor to get steroid injections
Oh
to
man.
counteract it. Yeah, no, so that could have been bad if they let that linger a little bit longer. Though I got to give love to the actor who plays Manley in the death scene.
Mhm.
They do such a great job really illustrating, and even later on in the movie they talk about what the venom specifically does, like paralysis, uh, and like your windpipe closes up, and then just ultimately death. But he goes through all the motions in the way in that death scene. And again, when I saw this when I was 9 years old, I was not expecting this like at all.
Yeah, they died pretty terribly. Like he couldn't even scream. He was trying to, but he
Yeah.
just couldn't. Yeah, and the death was just like instant and like their muscles tense up and they went through a lot. And then you see
Hmm.
the little, drop of blood
Yeah.
coming out. It was like, oh man, what was it go like what did it do on the inside to like burst, probably some blood vessels to come
Yeah.
through? It's like that's crazy. But it
I
looked more realistic than just like some weird way of melting, just
Yeah, it's not like in any other. Well, funny enough, in another giant spider movie, Gary Jones' Spiders, in that one, man, people get bit by him like they immediately, well, like very soon they start like pulsating and stuff like that. Which I mean, for a giant spider venom, like gross, but
yeah,
yeah,
probably, but
probably. But even then, that was also a mutant space spider, so excuses.
yeah.
Excuses, right there. I mean, commonly, spider venom is a neurotoxin that is meant to paralyze the prey because it prefers to eat its prey alive, and this is why, getting killed by a giant spider would be a horrible thing because, yeah, it cocoons you, liquefies your insides, and basically drinks you like a high C. So and so your insides are being liquefied and you're feeling it as it's happening and you're paralyzed so you can't do anything about it, so it's a horrifying way to die.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. And then, obviously, and then like Dr. Atherton was like, they screamed and hollered for him. He comes to check, check the pulse. And he was like, oh, must have been the fever. And then after they put him in a box to ship him back to his hometown, after he like died this grueling death, he was like,
Mm.
make sure you get his film, his pictures
Yeah.
and stuff. I was like, wait, what? And did you notify the family? Oh, we're talking to them, you know.
Yeah, the American consulate.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, but make sure you got to get the film,
Oh,
you
gotta get
know.
that film.
Yeah, I was
Otherwise, he
like,
died for nothing.
pretty
I'm sure this is
much.
what he would have wanted.
Yeah, and then seal them up, and then you could see like the
Yeah,
spider
going in there.
climb in. They had a
Now, in
good
their
meal for
defense,
a while.
they can't exactly embalm him like right then and there. They can't exactly go mortuary assistant on this guy right then and there. So but it is pretty grotesque when he finally does. Oh, we have to talk about this because I never noticed this until fairly recently. Every mortuary scene I've now seen, now I'm looking for it. People in the mortuary, they're eating. They always got food.
Yep.
Why is that?
Most movies I've seen, they got some kind of snack or they're eating something. Even in Blade, when
Yeah,
the guy was eating. Even in these are the movies I can remember. But
yeah,
Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell, when he
yeah.
pushed the body in there,
Well, hell, he even ate the heart, you know?
yeah.
There you go.
There
Mortician's
was
always eating.
yeah, there it was like, and then I know my uncle was a mortician. I never been into the part where but he was
Yeah.
always eating. He was always had some snacks around, even in his office, but I never could go into the actual thing. But so I'm like, why are they always like snacking and eating?
I just always read it as, from what I understand, I'm pretty sure they run long hours, and I guess they just have to try to grab a bite whenever they can. That's my presumption.
They were even eating in the movie that we did. It was oh my God, it slipped my
Human
mind.
Asylum?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did.
They
Yeah.
were eating.
Yeah, they were actually. I even remember on Friday 13th Part 4, the final chapter. I think Axel was eaten as well. Yeah, this
Somebody
is
always, yeah, you should actually ask some morticians. Is that a thing?
yeah, yeah. Everyone, listeners at home, if you know someone who works in a mortuary, ask them: Are you eating like all the time, especially when the bodies come in? It's like, I gotta
That's some
know.
snack.
It's like,
Yeah,
what is like? Have you ever had time where you accidentally, like, you're having finger sandwiches, and then you accidentally eat the actual fingers? Or come on.
I was snacking. Yeah, that is something I've never. Now that you point it out, it's like now that when I see movies now and there's a mortician, I'm definitely going to see like,
Yeah,
do they got snacks?
yeah. Are there snacks?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, Terrifier, he is alluding to the fact he's about to get something to eat, but he
Yeah.
hard kills him before he gets a chance to eat. And there's a plot thread left hanging. The mortician died before he ate.
Mm,
Died on empty stomach.
so yeah, so now they then sent it, they were sending it back to where his home state. And then it moves back to is it Kanamia?
Kanaima.
Kanaima. Oh
Kanaima.
my gosh.
Yeah,
A small, beautiful coastal town.
yeah.
And you can
Idyllic
see the family driving.
countryside.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, tonal whiplash, because now all of a sudden we're in kind of Spielberg land with with this very idyllic place where the music is just the score shifts and becomes very homesy, very like
Mhm.
if you're a spider, you'd be home by now. Kind of.
Yeah, it's very the music. I actually like the score. It really tells you what is going to happen, about to happen, or the situation. Like the
Yeah,
music really does that.
yeah. I'm gonna look up the composer right now because you're right. He deserved. Trevor Jones. Trevor Jones was the composer, the same one who did The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, did the score for Labyrinth, collaborated with David Bowie. So yeah, Trevor Jones really he knew the assignment, but he's like, you know what, I'm going for extra credit on this one. Yeah,
Because when you see the spider, it has its own theme music, and
yeah,
it's really
it's got this
very, very creepy, like
yeah kind of thing. But
so.
I love the second that spider shows up from the coffin. I love the dog that's in the mortuary and the cat.
Oh,
That's in the
they saw it.
mortuary.
It took off. They was
Yeah, they're even getting the fuck out like immediately, and I'm like, good. Cats.
Now, I have two cats, and they don't run from any bugs. They go for them to kill them, eat them, chase them. So to see a cat run away, that's some
Yeah,
scary shit.
yeah. But then there was a bird. One
Yeah.
bird didn't.
Oh, that
That bird didn't know any better.
I actually started laughing. Like like there were parts of the movie I don't remember and parts I did, so I'm glad I rewatched it. But I was like, I laughed when the bird dropped dead. 'Cause I was like,
You know,
that's pretty messed up. Like
one
that's
day I yeah,
quick.
one day I want to see someone do a looped audio track of what the spider's saying in reaction to stuff like this. So like when the bird grabs, I'd be like, well, I loved when the bird grabs it, you hear the spider hiss at it. Like, and then the spider, like right before the bird dies, obviously because the spider bit it, I'm just expecting the spider to go like, I cut you, man. I'm Venezuelan,
And
I cut you.
killed that bird in midair.
Yeah.
That's very potent.
Yeah. Though how the spider didn't get crushed under the weight of the bird, because the great thing I love is that when the bird hits, you see the legs going, ow, fuck, it's just heavy. Damn it. Damn it.
I know it's like coming out from underneath it. Like it happens to like land at the home of the Jennings family when they
Yeah.
first moved into this home.
Yeah, moved in from San Francisco because on the promise that Ross, who is a doctor, would be able to set up practice in this small town after the other doctor, Dr. Metcalf,
Hmm.
retires. More on that a little bit later, but as we also discover, as a great setup for, and even better, it's such a great low key way to set up where your final showdown is going to be. But we find out that he has an enthusiasm for fine wines and that he wants to set up the basement to be his wine cellar. You don't think anything of it. You're like, well, and in this day and age, I go, actually, I think my favorite is when he's talking to the mover about it. And the mover's
Hmm.
like, he's like, yeah, Chateau Margaux, $127 a bottle. Tasty, huh? That's his code of saying, yeah, fuck you, rich guy.
Yeah, you
You
could
don't
definitely
give a
tell
damn how
they're
much these things.
you could tell that they're big city people moving into this small town that's
Hmm.
not in for all that. And also there's some indication that they never been to that town before.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they just happened to pick a home off of, some kind of brochure and
yeah,
move in because it was like falling apart too. The house underneath, it was
yeah,
rotten. And,
yeah.
yeah.
Low key, yeah, low key. They didn't realize that the that it had bad wood under the floor, and I love that the presumption is yeah termites, which would probably be my presumption too. But yeah, sometimes yeah wood goes bad. That's why a lot of homes nowadays are built on stronger foundations because yeah inevitably wood goes bad.
There one other thing that had me like thinking how crazy this movie is was when the first night her name was it Molly? Yeah, Molly, his wife,
Yeah,
Ross's wife, she was like, I'm so tired, I don't want to do anything. He was like, it's bad luck not to make love in your first house or something like that. And then, they're kissing and stuff, and then it cuts to the male spider and the female spider doing
doing the. Well, I was like looking at that, like going, have they ever seen spiders?
She lets him
fuck?
approach. He
Ever
gets ready to mate. Apparently, what he's doing here is an erotic ritual. Okay, now here's the big moment. That's the male inserting sperm into the female using its feeler called a palp. As you can see, part of the ritual is leaving part of himself inside the female.
Well, they're kind of right. They do kind of do this, but usually the male holds the lady's fangs in the air and he tickles underneath and he has
Ooh.
his sack pods underneath. I watched too many. And then he tickles underneath like this, and then he's that's when he jabber with those, and he has to hurry up because anytime she could come down and get him, but unfortunately they were became partners mostly in this movie. But yeah,
Yeah. You're like, I'm just picturing the flurry. He's like, hey, baby, you wanna
you
you
can
wanna
tell I
cuddle
watch
down?
spider porn.
Yeah. Hey, you know, Rule 34. Rule
That
34. That's all I'm gonna say.
But that's what if you watch Animal Planet or Blue Planet or any planet, with that famous, voiceover, and we're
Yeah.
watching bees, birds, ants, whatever, screwing. We're pretty much watching animal porn.
Yeah, we're watching animal porn, people. Let's just
I mean, how do they reproduce unless you're a certain species where you just change sex? But that's a different
yeah.
story.
I know. I just remember the Rick and Morty episode, with on the snake planet, and there's like a whole sex scene with two snakes, and I'm like, did they actually study how snakes look like when they fuck to do this animation?
Well, they do, and then
Like
you see
intertwine.
it does come out. It's like
Yeah.
this pink thing, and then it squirms in there, and then they just
Yeah.
intertwine. And sometimes the female could have multiple partners. I mean, I've watched it.
Yeah.
And also if you watch Anaconda too. The Anaconda, the blood something.
Oh,
I think it's
blood
number.
orchid. Yeah.
Yeah, you
the
could
blood
see the
orchid, yeah.
orgy of the anaconda.
Oh, see, we just covered Anaconda this year. Now I need to watch this one just to have the snake orgy. I have to see this now.
It's true.
Forget plot. I just need to watch snakes fucking.
Yeah, I've seen all kinds of things.
Okay. All the while, Pinhead's like staring, like going, "I will. We have such sights to show you." Oh shit. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Kind of into it.
That would be funny. That would be a funny skit. He's like, I ain't seen that.
I was not expecting us to go down this route, but I'm happy we did. But yeah, I do love. Yeah, this was part of that during that period where the husband like forces, being all like, "Yeah, you're right." Doing the whole like, "Yeah, it's bad luck not to make love in the first." Well, then again, I think that's kind of like his revenge on her for like flashing the spider in his face because earlier, they found the spider on the moving gear, so it's like going, "Hey, you tried to make me confront my fear." Bad move.
Yeah, that's right. As soon as the kids was like, the son was screaming and hollering that there's a spider, he calls his wife to go get it.
I love the way this movie completely shatters gender norms in here. I do love that because commonly, any movie, it would be the wife that'd be the one freaked out by the spider, and the man has to come in and take care of it. So I do love the complete flip of the narrative here. That it's the seemingly stalwart husband is the one who's actually paralyzed.
But also the son, because the son screamed about it, and then it was the wife that came, and then the daughter was next to her.
Oh, killing spider, cool.
Yeah, and then even later they're talking about itsy bitsy spider. They're doing spider scary stories. So they really did flip not just the husband but the kids too.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
it's great. No, it's fantastic script that just knew the stereotypes and just completely flipped them. And so it's in this instance that we find out that Ross has had a childhood trauma of spiders. And it's been called into question, the credibility of it. Can someone, actually, I'm going to find something out here. All right, so I just looked this up in the interim in this cut. Children who have been exposed to traumatic events often display hippocampus-based learning and memory deficits. So in layman's terms, yes, it is entirely possible if the memory is strong enough, a 2-year-old can retain a memory. I mean, it's kind of like how I always say, my earliest memory is when we went to go see Ghostbusters when I was 3.5 years old. And that experience was so powerful for me. It was like my first real inspiration. So yeah, I can believe it. And the idea and the way Ross describes it, when you are in your playpen and you can barely walk or something like that, and you're being explored by what was probably might have been a huntsman spider or something like that. Which, if you've ever seen a huntsman spider, those suckers are like big, they're brown, they're hairy, crawling on a baby, and a baby doesn't know jack at that point. The baby doesn't know shit about what that is. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that could be anything. That could be like friggin' Satan coming out there to go all Serbian film on your ass, Yeah.
Another thing I liked about this film, I liked a lot of things, but this one kind of stuck out to me because it really foreshadows a lot of events if you listen to Ross.
Yeah.
And his situation, because it was like, there was one point where he was like, I don't want being respected is fine, but I want to be feared.
Yeah.
Now he did say that.
Yeah.
And then later there was like, they called him Dr. Death.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So another thing is when he was trying to build his you
Wine
know, oh my
cellar.
God. Yeah, his wine cellar. He was using that nail gun and it was just shooting through everything and it shot through almost through the floor. And he went up there and was like, "Oh my God, I could have almost killed you guys." He said, "This everything is just rotten. Surprised I didn't fall through the floor."
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
actually,
like,
in my rewatch in preparation for this, I did notice, I did pick up on that one. I was like,
yeah.
ooh,
Yeah, there's a lot
quick.
of little, there's other little things that I was listening. I was like, oh, it's pretty much telling you what's gonna happen
Yeah.
to you throughout the whole thing. I mean, there was other little ones.
Yeah.
I
Just
just have
all,
to look through them, but
yeah,
yeah, those are the two that stand out.
absolutely, you really do. But of course, as we go on, we find out that unfortunately, Dr. Metcalf has reneged on his promise to bequeath his patients onto Ross because, and I have heard this, unfortunately, I've known people who have tried, well, let's face it, we have an idiot in chief right now who won't go away, even though he's like friggin' way past retirement age. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I get where you're coming from, but unfortunately, you're from the age when people were applying leeches. Come on, dude. And then we got, but fortunately, makes the acquaintance of Margaret Hollins, who is his neighbor, who is openly voiced saying, "Yeah, Sam Metcalf's a freaking idiot." And a lot of people are just way too nice to say, "Yeah, I don't like the fact that this, guy was old enough to watch Mary Magdalene secretly have a hidden life. I don't like the idea that this guy's putting on a rubber glove whenever he needs to, like, apply the duck lips. Come on." Because
Yeah.
let's face it, he probably does that too. He's the town doctor.
Hmm.
I don't think Kanaima has like an OBGYN.
Even the town, was it the town sheriff or the
Oh
police
yeah.
officer? He was so annoying. He was
Yeah.
just doing whatever, like he was just a bully.
Yeah. Oh,
He
and
was
I love
pretty
that
much a
Margaret
bully.
actually calls him out for that. It's like saying, "Oh no, he's been a bully since the sixth grade. I should know. I held him back." I
Yep, and
love Margaret, man. Margaret was she was a boss lady. I like.
it sucked that she got bit.
Oh
I was
yeah.
hoping she didn't because I couldn't remember if she did, and then she does, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's messed up.
But that's what that's how a good horror movie operates, is like you legitimately give a shit about your characters, and even through some really good visual storytelling, like prior to her death, you see her just in a regular home life, and you saw like just how the reason why she's such a social butterfly, why everyone loves her, is because very clearly she's lonely, because obviously she lost someone in her life probably like years ago,
Hmm.
and never ever, and unfortunately just doesn't really have anyone in her own personal life. So to explain why she's so extroverted and why she's so eager for the community relations, because it's like, what else does she have? And you saw the size of her house. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah. The kid with the helmet, I thought that was pretty sad though. Like the kid with
Oh
the
yeah.
spider gets in his helmet and just like bite him. I was like,
Okay,
that's
I admit
crazy.
some Schadenfreude here, because my brother, my second brother, unfortunately, he was the favorite of the family, and he was also, and as you could expect, yes, a football player, because all the pretty boys in the 80s and 90s all played football. And so I had a bit of Schadenfreude when we were all watching this one together as a family. My brother afterwards apparently uh benched himself a couple times because he didn't want to put his fucking helmet on after watching that movie.
I wouldn't either. That's creepy.
Yeah, me, I'm just like, I'll shake the damn thing out. But of course, then again, I wouldn't play football, because any sport that entails you ramming into another person haphazardly, I'm like going, why don't I just ram myself into the brick wall just to get it over with?
Hmm.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And of course,
oh, go ahead.
no, I'm just gonna be a bitch and just basically say I've always called American football rugby for wusses.
I've watched rugby, the
Yeah,
real rugby.
yeah.
That is some man.
No, Monty Python and the Meaning of Life, they were not joking around. That is what rugby is. It is a brutal ass sport that, and they're doing it without pads, whereas American football, they're doing it. I mean, yeah, the movie Him made it look a heck of a lot more brutal, but I mean, but then again, that's the movie Him, but.
Man, I've seen so many cleats go up somebody's head, teeth flying while
Yeah.
they're running, and somebody getting knocked out with elbows. I mean, I was just like, oh my goodness. I mean, they really tough because you got, I mean, oh my
Yeah.
goodness. That
It's nasty.
I was just like, y'all, I respect because basically it's football. With the rules are obviously a little different,
Mm,
and the goalie is much smaller.
yeah.
But man, they get stepped on, kicked, thrown around, flipped.
Oh yeah.
I would love to go to one of those because
Yeah.
that's action. Like, okay,
Yeah, that's hockey without the ice and the sticks, man. Come on. Exactly.
yes.
Now, see, hockey's a fun sport to watch because I will say I've actually sat in on a Solar Bears game and I'm actually going, no, okay, now I see this is a spectator sport because it's fast, it's crazy, it's hard
Mhm.
to keep track of the freaking puck because it's so small, but you're seeing everyone fighting over the damn thing. You know, it's like
Mhm.
it's like ice Quidditch without the transphobia.
So we have obviously we talked about him
Mm,
before, but John Goodman.
yeah. This was I think for me, this was my first. I'd have to actually really think back because I'm pretty sure as a kid I may have seen John Goodman in like prior things. I have a vague recollection of watching an edited for TV version of Raising Arizona, but of course,
Mm,
I don't remember John Goodman. That this was like the first time I really recognized or like really acknowledged the brilliance of John Goodman. And then fortunately, like soon after that, I ended up seeing King Ralph, which he was amazing in. Uh,
mm. I
yeah.
remember seeing it because I used to watch Roseanne all the
Mm,
time. So when I saw, a trailer for this or whatever, it's like, oh, they made it feel like, that he was the big star of
yeah,
it.
because he is,
Uh,
he really is.
but I think he was the most, he actually took a pay cut to
Really.
do this film. Yeah, because he was the biggest star, but they didn't want him. I think Frank Marshall.
Mm,
He didn't want him at first. He wanted I think it was John Candy.
I could see that.
But I hope it was John Candy.
But
It
yeah,
sounds like,
I can
yeah, I
see what
could
you're
see
saying.
that. Yeah, but Steven Spielberg was like, no, unless you want me to be executive producer, get John Candy because we previously worked with him on a previous
Oh
movie
yeah,
before
John
then.
Goodman. Yeah, he worked with him on Always.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. So it
Yeah.
was like, that's happening, or you won't be seeing me. So, what are you
Mhm.
gonna do? Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg.
And as much as I love John Candy, John Goodman really kind of added a lot of subtle nuance. So he was able to turn that character into less of the oafish, fat comedy
Hmm.
character, and he added like personality quirks beyond just fat, 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 fat. No, it's just
Hmm.
blue collar. But I love the way they write him as someone who very clearly takes pride in his work, but
Hmm.
is also someone who's very clearly socially awkward.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah, I like how they didn't focus on him being big,
yeah,
or try to make fun of that. Because there was a point as I was watching it, I forgot he was big. Like I was
yeah,
just more listening to what he was saying and what is happening, and he was smart because he
yeah,
knew what he was doing and talked. So I'm so glad it kind of pushed that away because I couldn't remember if they did or didn't. So I was like, oh, okay, I didn't even
yeah.
notice.
To my recollection, no, they never did. The only time funny enough, again, going back to what I was like thinking about looping in comedy dialogue with the spiders, but the whole scene where Dilbert confronts one of them on the porch, I can
Mm.
picture that spider looking at him like going, "Oh Jesus, it's the apocalypse! It's freaking huge." And here's a cool thing. Now, for people wondering about how they did the effects of whenever spiders got squished, because there are two shots where you can see live spiders getting, crushed under things. The bit with the spider getting crushed by the book, and the other one in this case where the spider gets crushed by Delbert. Uh, John Goodman's shoes had a hollow alcove under the
Hmm.
main area. So when he steps on it, the spider is perfectly safe in this little alcove that's carved out in the sole of his shoe. And they do pretty much a similar effect with the book that gets dropped on top of the other one. Fortunately, with Avondale's being a very low to the ground species, it was a lot safer for them to be able to pull off that effect. So that is how they did it.
I wonder how frustrating this movie could have been. Because I feel like even though you had somebody to wrangle up these spiders, but you had to make sure they were doing what they needed to do for the
Hmm.
shots. So I feel like the patience for this had to be really extreme
Oh
because
yeah.
you had to really, what time of day, because some
Hmm.
of them don't like to be out during the
Yeah.
day. They're very nocturnal. Like,
Hmm.
how do you deal with that? And that's
Yeah.
the part I couldn't find anything on that.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's why they did. Well, that's another reason why they did the audition, the strenuous audition thing, because they knew that they'd be exposing spiders to various temperatures and
Mhm.
various elements. So that's why they did those trials. So that way they knew the limitations, and knowing those limitations with the spider they chose, that's how they were able to compensate. That's why I'm wagering why you probably haven't heard about any sort of trials in terms of filming it um, because of that fact, because they prepped for it by choosing the right spider for the right situation, and then add on to the fact they had an experienced spider wrangler working on this, who for Marvel fans, he is the same wrangler who brought in Avondale's for the beginning scene of the first Spider-Man movie. Um,
Oh,
yeah, in the scene in the lab when they're showing like all the footage of all the spiders doing just doing stuff in their pen, that is the same kind of spider and the same wrangler. They brought him in.
which Spider-Man?
The very first
The
Tobey
oh,
Maguire
very fair.
movie.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the very
Yeah.
first Tobey Maguire movie in the labs, like right before Tobey Maguire gets bitten.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, that
Yep.
was a long time ago. What year was
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
Oh my gosh, that was
Ah,
forever ago.
time. Fuck
I re
you.
I I remember sitting in the theater with that. Man,
I do remember it as well. Yes.
so
So
great, so great.
I'll never forget it. But yeah, yeah, that same Wrangler was brought in for that for Spider-Man for that same reason because he was the man. He was the man to bring in because he knew. And I remember watching interviews with him. I think there was some great vintage featurettes that I found on this, and he's just sitting there so chill and so casual with the Avondales like crawling all over him in the interview, just to show off just how gentle those spiders actually are.
He could put little bows on them. I still wouldn't touch them. Like, no, I'm good. I'm so good.
Oh no. Now I want to see the image of an Avondale with a little pink bow on his head.
I'd still be like,
That would be so cute. I'd love to see it. Oh,
um,
baby. Yeah.
the creepiest thing out of the entire movie, believe it or not, the entire movie. Now we have spiders running around, horrible things happening to people, but the creepiest thing was when the one spider was dangling down and
Hmm.
the baby doll eyes open
Yeah.
automatically. It's been laying there for a hot minute. And so the eyes should have been open, but it's like slowly opening. And it's just dangling.
Yeah, that spider's like going like, I'm gonna freaking purge this demon baby like right now. Oh, it's a doll.
That
Yeah.
yeah, that was a little creepy. And you know what that
Mhm.
reminded me of?
What?
Poltergeist.
Yeah, that was
There's
in
a
my brain too.
scene in Poltergeist where there was a baby doll and the eyes.
Yeah. I've always hated those baby dolls too, just the way that just somehow, some way they engineer it where the eyes open up when you lift it up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated those.
But the thing is, this doll was just laying there. It wasn't even
Yeah.
being lifted up and the eyes open. I wonder who idea
Yeah.
was that.
Even the ghosts in the house that possess that doll are saying, I ain't having it with that spider. No,
Oh
definitely not.
man, that was a pretty good idea. Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
creepiest thing in the entire movie.
Well, it was also because again, knowing what we know about what those spiders do and seeing how fast they can kill, and now seeing that Ross's daughter is in legit peril, and even worse is that she is not taking her dad seriously because
Mm-mm.
unfortunately of this rep that's been built around him because you have Metcalf demonizing him because unfortunately prior to the party he met Margaret came to his house or came to his office as a patient, and because Ross was up on the current data on cardiology and the like, he took her off her heart medication because he's like saying, "You don't need these. You're perfectly fine, the way you are." And but unfortunately, because she died and they didn't want to do an autopsy, they just automatically assume, oh, well, city doctor. And I just, so punchable is Dr. Metcalf. I don't care if he'd go down like a bag of pretzels. I don't care. I would punch him. But the fact that he believes that just because he's a city doctor, that his practices and even just like his data about how medicine is meant to be practiced, I love how he automatically assumes that, oh, you're a city doctor and you have city rules. Those rules don't apply in the country. Oh, yeah, because people who live in the country have a different biological makeup and don't abide by the current medical journal of what's going on in a constantly researched field. Yeah, I just love that. That's a cool thing this movie really does too, is talks about the ridiculous divide between city life and country life, and just realizing just in the end it really doesn't fucking matter, because in the end, if lives are in danger, it doesn't matter where you come from. And you should be listening to the smartest people, the people best equipped to understand what's going on. But the movie doesn't do, like, for a substantial part of the movie, nope. It really isn't until Metcalf gets killed that people are forced to listen to Ross, and even then they still don't want to listen to him, but they have to, because legally, by this point, the coroner, Milt Briggs, not the mortician, the coroner, takes Ross's side, saying like, yeah, I didn't like him either. Let's go ahead and just do this right so we can find out what's going on. Yeah.
And then that's when they found out, once they re-digged up the bodies.
Yeah.
And found little spots where these spiders may have bit them. And then from then on, then that's when they called Dr. Atherton.
And he doesn't show up himself. He sends his lackey, who, funny enough, we need Chris Collins, who I like. Honestly, why Chris isn't running the department instead of Atherton is beyond me. That guy was way more. Not only was he, way better in his field and way better in the field, but he was also, gasp, a charming, considerate, person who was very empathetic to everyone else.
And he didn't and he believed what was being seen. Like this could possibly happen. He didn't straight up deny, like, this could not, no, like, he was like, oh, this could happen. Let me call, once these could be spider bites. He's like, let me call Dr. Atherton to get him. And he was only there for like a day, and then he met his demise.
Oh man. Yeah.
Knowing that now this is what I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Okay, knowing that these spiders are dangerous, he saw it with his own hand, with his own eyes, when he injects the mouse, and it just like, but he goes in the barn by himself.
It's pure hubris. I think he just legitimately believes that he goes up there with a friggin' Tupperware container, thinking that he could just capture the spider, thinking that, and he knows damn well that this thing is aggressive. In fact, like, when his assistant in Venezuela gives him the thing, he's like, the thing like leaps at him. How they train that spider to leap at him on cue, and he's like, wow, these things are aggressive. It's like, okay, damn well. Hell, he even has one of them. Not that he got that shit past customs. He had one as a pet in his office, and he wasn't aware that this thing was like friggin' aggressive as fuck.
Maybe he thought it was small. It wasn't as,
because
because he had small ones. They didn't have the general.
Yeah.
Because the general made it with the female, and the female is the one just as dangerous, because she, she made the egg sac, but she was smaller than the general, which is weird.
Yeah, you're right. And I think they also established that a lot of the ones that they extracted from the sinkhole, they extracted that a lot of those were soldiers.
Those were soldiers. Yeah, that's right.
Because one of the ones they're examining on the beach was one of the soldiers. So I think the one that he had in his office is probably one of the soldiers as well. So that might explain it. Either way, Atherton, as much as you do a good job selling your smarts in terms of like knowledge, you are a prideful little bitch, and you deserve what you got. Go up there knowing damn well that you're pretty much quite literally walking into the spider's web, and and I just love he even flicks the web line to kind of like signal it to come at you. And the thing like, and and there's a little thing, part of me, I'm wondering if the general recognized Atherton.
Probably. Because
Yeah.
it just casually leaves out of the
Yeah.
barn after it got him on the
Yeah.
ground. Just like,
Oh man, yeah. And now from what I heard from Julian Sands, he did that was one of the times where he had to be like covered in them because now another thing I'm also going to point out for anyone doing low budget films, love of God, never ever use Spirit Halloween cobwebs. Never use them. Don't use them. They do not look good. They have never looked good. It always makes me cringe when I see a high budget production use them. Um, there is an amazing gun. I use it as well for my Halloween decor, or even just for atmosphere. Like even when I did some stuff in, like actually when I did Shakespeare's Aliens, I used it. It is called the Webcaster gun. It is an awesome gun. It is a hot glue gun attached to an air hose that you attach to an air compressor. It heats up the glue, it trickles down, but then it runs into the path of the air hose and it shoots the air at a high speed. So it ends up causing the glue to fire out in a very fine line. And if you aim it precisely and concentrate into a specific area, it does an incredible job creating the illusion of cobwebs. But even better, if you use a fine thread, like either fishing line or something like that, and you spray it all over it, perfect effect. Perfect. Makes it look bona fide. And Arachnophobia, bless them, they used it. They used that effect. Thank you very, very much. So that is for any.
It did look like real cobwebs.
Exactly. And here's the funny thing. I mean, all of us have accidentally walked into cobwebs in our lifetime. And why we do is because we can't see it because it's very fine thread. So they obviously can't have real spider webs because it wouldn't show up on film. So that's another great thing about using the webcaster is that it creates a thick enough and also creates a shine to it that creates a nice reflection. That's a fun little special effects discussion, that we can have today. So, and I'm telling everyone this because I want more giant killer spider movies. I want more of them. I don't care. Every time, I mean, there was even one from Jagged Edge called Spiders in the Attic, and I'm like going, fuckers, you're using Party City shit again.
What about Eight-Legged Freaks?
Eight-Legged Freaks used it. Used the glue. Used the webcaster glue.
They did use some animatronics, but most of it was visual effects.
In fact, if memory serves, I looked it up earlier, but a lot of the creature effects were used in the same shop from Chris Wallace, who did a lot of the effects he did the effects for Gremlins, and he also did, I believe he also worked on The Fly, and he would later on direct The Fly too, as well. So there he goes from flies to spiders. Yeah, and even cooler is that around the time Arachnophobia came out, at the time it was called Disney MGM Studios. Now it's called Hollywood Studios, but it opened up in Orlando, and they had the Backlot tour because at the time it was a fully functioning studio. So they had a museum featuring a lot of screen used props and costumes and animatronics. They had the Big Bob puppet that they used specifically for the up close shots. Because if you remember in the climax, or even just a lot of shots specifically of Big Bob, they did like extreme close-ups of the spider to kind of show it emoting, but that's what they did. They had a big giant ass puppet, which pretty sure unnerves some people. Like when you walk, I don't care if you're arachnophobic or not, you walk into a room, especially if it's dark and you flip on the lights, there's a big ass spider staring at you. Shit in your pants.
Yes.
If you're not ready for it, you're shitting your pants. Oh yeah.
They're even this little, and I kind of like, ew.
Yeah. Oh no, I can just imagine in the creature shop, like even before he turns on the light, they see like the glint off the eyes. It's like, like 8 times when you see your dog or cat in the dark. It'd be like that.
But imagine a lot of the little eyes glowing. Oh,
you'd have to keep that shit under tarp before they close up shop every night, just so that way they don't get that.
So at this point, so I don't know. I think we kind of skipped all the way around, but at this point, they figured out where the nest is.
Yeah, they realized that the first nest might have been, they assumed that it was in the barn. Well, first they think it's in the mortuary because that's where Manley's body is. So they think at first that's where it is. But then when they see, when they see
The map.
Irv
Oh.
and his wife, actually, that's another death, yeah, an off-screen death, which does really well just because of how cringe it is. Just the fact they grab the popcorn, the spiders in there, and yeah, and that made me sad too because I love seeing couples just do like have their like daily rituals, and it's really sweet. There's this happy couple just watching Wheel of Fortune, taking the phone off the hook. I actually was like, I want to sit there and watch Wheel of Fortune with them because they look like they were having a good time. That made me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It brought back memories because that we used to do stuff like that.
and
Way back in the
I
day.
even I have a bit of a recollection. Like a lot of times, we had like a really teeny tiny black and white TV like around that time when we were all having dinner around the. And yeah, we had Wheel of Fortune on at the same time. I remember that vividly. So
Yeah,
yeah, I feel that.
they
I
don't
feel
have things like that, shows like that anymore now.
that. Yeah,
At least not like that. Like
yeah.
it was fun. But
On the
yeah.
plus side nowadays, we still have Steve Harvey hosting Family Feud. So take our wins where we can get them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they died gruesome deaths.
Pretty bad. But at that point, they do a great little process of elimination scene based on where all the sightings are. Oh,
Hmm.
one scene we have not really talked about. We have not talked about probably one of the most uncomfortable scenes in the movie, which I'm sure anyone who's ever had a bad spider encounter encounters this, is the spider in the shower scene.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single one of us in our lifetime has had a bad encounter with a spider in a shower. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people were like looking out for that shit after this movie came out.
I know I was. I've had some encounters even now. What a damn spider just sitting like on the shower curtain. It's like, how did you even get in here? It's like, what opening
Oh,
are they
spiders can.
finding?
Oh no, spiders could crawl in through the vents. They could crawl in through. They can crawl in through like any crevice. I mean, country homes. I'm pretty sure they got fireplaces.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they probably might have crawled in through there.
Or the
But even then,
drain.
huh?
Or the drain, like the
Yeah.
sink or the
Well, no,
shower. Yeah.
even the point you see it going through the drain. So it's not beyond the spare of possibility that spiders could just get anywhere. It's just kind of yeah. But that particular scene, and I gotta give love to that young actress doing that scene because it's one thing to play a character who's unaware that a spider is in the shower with her jumping on her face, even though I'm surprised she didn't feel the thing jump on her face. But even so, but to be an actress, especially in the buff, anticipating that little sucker is going to jump on her face.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
like how it jumped on her face because I was like, oh, I would feel that, but you wouldn't because of the water.
yeah,
So they whoever like they really thought about where these spiders are going and what they do
Hmm.
because if you think about it, if you're doing this, you're and the water's hitting you, you wouldn't even know something is because you just feel like the water running down
Yeah.
until she was
And
like, look down to her foot.
but, but this is one thing that I got to give to this movie is that because they do such a good job establishing how dangerous these spiders are with just one bite, anytime any spider is making physical contact with anyone in this movie, I'm immediately terrified because I know what they can do with just one bite, which means that any second that spider is still on her person, that spider could do anything to her. Like right there
Hmm.
in that moment. And even more so, it's juxtaposed with a bit where one of the spiders goes into the toilet where her dad is about
Oh,
to shit her. And I love
I
that
thought it was
because
gonna bite him. I forgot that
yeah,
it didn't.
yeah, that's what I thought too. I actually thought this was going to be like a great like rope-a-dope as to which one's going to be the one to get it. And interestingly, neither of them do, which I was really impressed with. It was just a great little subterfuge for the audience. So it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I like that too. And then how the kids just didn't take the dad seriously about him and the spiders and their personalities and stuff like. But but we're getting closer to the end. But I
Yeah.
definitely want to tell you my theory before
Okay. Tell me the
we.
theory. You built it up.
Okay,
Tell me this theory.
so at this point, well, we should like because so we should actually say okay, the dad ends up fighting the general.
The general and the queen.
And the queen. The queen gets messed up though.
Yeah.
The queen gets
It's
electrocuted.
yeah.
Which she's smaller, which is weird.
Hmm.
Um, but I think she was a different species than
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did
because
notice that.
there's
Like, yeah, the
yeah.
initial house spider was like, teeny tiny. Then all of a sudden, the queen like had a bit of a glow up and turned into a freaking tarantula. Is like, is this spider's did this spider got like super primordial like tiger like is or something like that? Is this like the
I don't know. It was when they were
I guess
I don't know, that making that love,
you got
whatever
like Howard
happened.
Stern super sperm, kind of thing,
Yeah, and she got messed up pretty good. And the general saw that. He was like, okay, we ain't about to like let this happen. But then the house gets swarmed. They were coming
Yeah,
from everywhere.
that sequence is amazing. That whole sequence of
That
spiders just swarming.
bathroom when he was
Yeah.
about to climb through and they were just coming down. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I did not get to be Jeff Daniels during that entire sequence. That was an incredible sequence for
I
him.
would have been in the right place in the bathroom because I'm telling you, shit would have shot out from
Yeah.
every go of me. I would have just shot shit everywhere because
Mhm.
that right there would have. I would have got out that window. The hell with the spiders. They kept telling him, "Get out, Ross!" And he's just, oh my God, he's taking forever.
But again, we have this great mental roadblock with Ross. The fact that unfortunately, because he is an arachnophobe, it's amazing that he was able to like move at all
Yeah.
during that sequence. So I love that because we have this great established fact that he has this involuntary paralysis that comes with spiders, and he's probably like terrified about them touching him at all because he's like freaking out about the idea that he can't move. And we even get a great bit with Chris and Ross when they capture one of them,
Mhm.
where Chris has to like tells him you have to step forward, towards it in order for me to catch this thing. So I love that it's not just some gratuitous thing that they just say in the beginning and nothing happens until like one key point later on. They keep that littered throughout the course of the movie at many points. I even love that there's a scene where we get a fake out involving a cricket.
Hmm.
And just to show how powerful an effect spiders have on Ross, he just so casually picks up the cricket and just like is holding it and looking at it. So it's clear that this fear is strictly spiders and it's not just normal
Hmm.
bugs. Because I know people who
Yeah.
just hate bugs, period.
Yeah, because there was a point when the son was screaming about the spider, and it was like, "Oh, you don't like bugs?" He said, "No, I'm fine with bugs. It's just
Just
spiders I don't
yeah,
like." And so he briefly says as she's taking it outside.
yeah.
So yeah, you really have to or listen to that. And then when the cricket they wanted to establish, no, it's just spiders, and he just like take it. So
Hmm.
yeah. Um, but
Yeah. Yeah,
and
so it's
then
all that stuff you keep in mind during that big swarming sequence in the house, and how it is kind of a freak out when the spiders are like jumping on Ross, and again realizing, oh shit, one bite, that's all it takes, and then but Ross panics, falls through the floor, as effectively foreshadowed,
hmm
and then we get, in my opinion, an amazing third act final showdown.
hmm
Like they go through everything with this final showdown. I think this is also the first movie that told me that you could use a grill lighter and spray paint as a blowtorch. I never knew that.
And you could see the transformation in his attitude as well.
Hmm.
Especially like when he became aggressive to try to
Yeah,
find that thing instead of him trying to still run away, because that's how it started. He was aggressively looking for it. And then you
yeah,
could see the eyes just watching him go through, see
yeah.
the spider eyes just like looking for him. So it kind of turned where the
Mhm.
spider was like running away, the one hiding. And then
Yeah,
it came to the showdown when he was laying there. And it was like, he froze, but he had to do something.
yeah. Love that final show, the final bit. And yeah, you're seeing like all the great close-ups of the bird eating spider on his leg leading up to it. Now, I will say nowadays I can immediately pinpoint which one's the puppets and which one's
Yeah.
the legit ones. I mean, well, um, yeah, it's one that I do see is underrated just because of the ambition of the project. But I do think Gary Jones' Spiders with Lana Parrilla is actually kind of underrated, mainly just
Hmm.
because of the ambition of the special effects, especially the puppeteering effects.
Hmm.
Because spiders move in a very, very unique fashion. Many times it's very, very erratic and it's very fast. So there's a reason why a lot of productions just like, especially with CGI, just can't do it right, and why animatronics, no matter how well you can um, portray it, it's still not 100% because spiders skitter and their physicality is so erratic. It's really hard to nail it. I mean, I've only seen few examples where they've been able to do it right. I'd say Infested most recently was a great example of that.
Mm.
There's even a great Doctor Who episode, Arachnids in the UK, that has some pretty well done CGI portraying spider movements. So
Hmm.
we're getting there, but still, it's very tricky. But Gary Jones' spiders did a really good job in some of those scenes. But Arachnophobia was definitely one where I can tell. But yeah, but freaking love though. I gotta say this is another thing. Anaconda did this as well, and you could even say Jaws 2 to an extent kind of did this. Or of course, as Randy from Scream would say, careful. This is when the supposedly dead killer comes back for one final scare.
And it does too.
Yeah, I don't know how they did this effect of the spider like on fire, like running like hell, skidding around. Like how the fuck they did this effect, I don't know, but it was amazing. But
And you almost forgot that Ross broke one of his bottles of champagne and wet this egg sack.
yeah, he
Like you
pre-wet the egg
almost,
sac.
yeah,
Yeah,
you almost forgot because there was so much going on, him trying to get the spider and the spider trying to get him,
yeah.
that when you realize that when he
Like,
does, it pops up in the air and he shoots it with the nail gun, it goes straight into the egg
yeah.
sack.
And even then, just the part where he's dousing the egg sac with it, that was a mother of a jump scare right there, where you're so caught up in him, like, okay, get it on there, get it on there, and then like all of a sudden the general like leaps up on him.
Yeah.
But there is one bit in this showdown that still gets me because again, knowing what this spider can do, but there's just a great bit where Ross has the blowtorch poised at a outlet pipe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
he's
it's like he's like putting it down. He's like not sure. It's like, am I right? Am I right? Is it in there? And he's not sure. And like and I love how the spider's just waiting for him to lower that thing, and then right like the split second he does, shoots the spider right out at him, and then it gets this great bit where Ross is actually like holding his shirt out because the spider's like on his chest because
yeah.
when he pulls his shirt out, the spider can't bite him. But I love how Ross just in his panic just fuck it, grabs the spider and launches it.
Hmm.
I
That's a good teaching. That's a good attention to detail because
Yeah,
if something's on you, you're automatically gonna try to get up.
yeah.
So it's glad that they made him make sure you pull. So because it probably is trying to get him, and then
Oh, I'm sure like probably a couple times like on the shirt. I wouldn't be surprised if he scrutinized. You'd probably find a couple bite marks like on the
that
shirt.
yeah, if we really looked at that would have been cool. Like you could see his shirt with like bite marks. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, that
that's
is the one bit that still gets me like every time I watch it because even I'm going like shit, shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
whole bit. Yeah, like I said, and I just again, it's such a great final showdown because of the tears that it goes through. It just starts off so simply, with him just with at first it's just simply the queen, and then you think, okay, we're fine, we're in the clear because Atherton had actually said that only the queen was there guarding.
mm,
He did they make no allusion to the idea that the general would be there
mhm.
watching it. But no, come on, final showdown, baby. You got to have the general show up for the big finale.
And that was a long final showdown. It wasn't like quick.
Yeah.
They really, I mean, not long to the point where like, okay, let's move this along, but he really fought
Yeah.
to get out of there and to save his life.
Yeah, this leads me to a discussion that's been had about other diminutive horror characters, like horror threats, like most notoriously Chucky. So many people always boast, like saying, like, "Oh, you could take on Chucky. All you do is just like kick him, or you just have to like push him aside." And it's like,
Mm,
no. See, the whole thing about a good villain is that they're fully aware of their shortcomings and know how to compensate for them.
mhm,
This spider knows that it can get anywhere and you can't find him. And if it wants to, it can strike you when you don't even know it. So it's not as simple as just having the thing walk up to you and just stamp on it
mm-mm,
as well. So I love it when a movie is fully cognizant of the shortcomings of the focal villain and have the villain be smart enough to know how to compensate for it to elevate its threat level.
mhm,
Yeah, and this is one that really does it like so damn well.
mhm. And it was a basement, it had a lot of things for it to hide.
Yeah, low lighting, actually
Yeah,
low
so
flickering lighting.
yeah, so it did a great job with that. And I love how the camera would go up to Ross But it wasn't the point of view of the spider. It was just the camera was showing him getting ready and he'll switch and then the
Hmm.
camera come switch and it did it twice when he didn't have the blowtorch and when he did, when he was
Yeah.
trying to figure out what it was going on. So
Yeah. Oh, it's so
um
good.
yeah,
And
it did such a great job
yeah, this
with it.
yeah, such a great climactic finale. And in the even and we've been talking about the scary elements of it, but the film still, knows that it promised to be a comedy because there is still a little bit of humor in all these sequences. Of course, the great bit is when he's throwing the wine bottles. I love it in
Hmm.
the midst of it. He does like, not the chateau,
Yep.
which I love.
Yeah.
Well, and I like that because it also shows that, because you're right. The one thing it was also, you were seeing Ross was kind of getting a little loopy. He was getting a little kind of frantic, even, and to the point where he's like muttering the itsy bitsy spider as he's hunting.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. There's a
He
little,
became the hunter.
yeah,
Like,
you're
I gotta
wondering if
get
like
this.
Ross is kind of losing his mind just because of what's going
I
on
would
here.
probably lose my mind too if some
Yeah,
spider was trying to get me. I mean,
yeah. The
usually
thing I'm the
spiders
most,
run off, but this
yeah.
was trying to get me. It's
So
like,
knowing that even in lieu of his mania, he's still worried about the welfare of his of his investment with the wine.
yep.
I love how the spider, throw launching shit at the spider didn't get this, or didn't get the wine, but the thing that did do in the Chateau Margaux, was in in the epilogue when when they leave the freaking wine on the thing and the earthquake knocks it over.
Yep. Now they got to deal with that.
Yeah,
Deal with earthquakes.
yeah. And then the movie gets capped off with the real biggest menace of the goddamn movie, Jimmy fucking Buffett,
Mm.
with that awful ass song. I'm sorry, people. I have never been a fan of Jimmy Buffett. South Park pretty much had him knocked when honestly, I've always just felt his music was pretty much the product of a frat boy who refused to grow up. Like, I've hated his music pretty much the second I first heard Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Wait, is it Jimmy Buffett? Is he the same guy who did like some of the Disney, the Pixar?
No,
Was
that's
it?
Randy Newman.
Oh, okay,
That's
okay.
Randy Newman. Jimmy Buffett's the one who did Cheeseburger in Paradise, Margaritaville.
I
Wasted
remember
away
Margaritaville.
again in Margaritaville.
Oh, okay. I remember
Yeah,
Margaritaville.
yeah. But no, he does this dumbass song where he's basically like, in this movie where we've been showing how awful and terrifying spiders are, we have a whole song saying, "Hey, I'm a spider. I'm okay. I'm okay. Don't bug me, and I won't bug you." Yeah,
But
he's like,
yeah,
"No, honey, no."
but
That's
in the end, everybody was most of the people were safe.
yeah. Well, because one thing they established, they took the time to establish that this first strain that was made had a limited lifespan,
Hmm.
specifically kind of designed to kind of level the playing field, to kind of guarantee a safe environment for them to lay the second egg sac, which would be the permanent, or the next strain, which would be self-sustaining. So
Hmm.
that's kind of, so that's kind of what they did. So, if for all intents and purposes, they were about to turn Canaima into another sinkhole in Venezuela. That's kind of what they were intending to do. Now, cool thing. Now, fascinatingly, I don't know if you knew this, but there was a video game of this movie.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was a PC video game. It was during that time when PC video games were just as normal as anything else. And the crux of the game, and I've seen gameplay of it, it's kind of sluggish, but the crux of the game is that you're playing Delbert, and you're going,
Oh,
yeah, and you find out, and of course the whole thing is that you find out that the spiders have reached out to different towns. So each of the levels is you going into town to town killing spiders, and as video games go, ascending difficulty, where I think inevitably you just end up going to Venezuela to kill the big Bob at the
oh,
tail end of it.
oh,
So
that's pretty cool.
yeah, you can find gameplay on YouTube actually. It's kind of cool. It's kind of
Hmm.
cool to see how this game plays. But I will say the one thing about it that's fucked up is that it has a nasty game over screen of a dead man hanging in the web with this
Oh,
dead face staring at you
wow.
with the continue 10, 9, 8. It's like,
Wow.
judging from the look of this guy, he ain't continuing shit.
So I guess we've reached the
Yeah.
end.
So
So,
final thoughts on arachnophobia?
well, I do have my theory.
Oh yeah, give me the theory. You haven't given me the theory.
Okay, so I wrote it all down. I have to read it.
Okay, read
So,
it.
in my opinion, this movie was not about spiders.
Uh-huh.
This movie is about male ego and pride.
Ooh.
A husband uprooted his family. His wife was the breadwinner. She was a successful broker to a small town for an opportunity that wasn't set in stone. Moving the family to a small town where no one knows them, he could create a name for himself. He didn't even explore the town or the house before. He moved there with high hopes and hoping that everything will work out. They felt out of place, but stood his ground. Also, realized that his big city attitude doesn't work with small town minds because where they're from, San Francisco, she was also a respected broker. Let's add, he is deathly afraid of spiders. His main objective was to show that he can be a provider for the family. There was a point that it looks like his kids think he was a wimp. He calls on his wife to handle things that he deemed scary, not just spiders. His wife, Molly, left everything behind for her husband. When things started to go south, she was ready to grind. That's who she is, and he didn't like that. It's like he wanted to soften her up. You could see that when she was decorating the medical office. In the end, he had to face his fear and realize that he needed to set aside his pride because it nearly got everyone killed and they moved back to the city.
Hell, goddamn yes. I love this. I love everything about this.
I saw it with adult eyes. I was like,
yeah.
ah.
I love this because, and I love this because when I was even watching this again, this was kind of tickling in my brain too. Because I think we need to focus on the character of Molly, Ross's wife. Molly is so damn patient and so damn supportive on everything. It's kind of I love how as soon as it seemed like there was going to be problems with Metcalf, I love she's already thinking of solutions to their problems because she was talking about working remotely.
Yeah.
During a time when that was not such a thing. Nowadays, funny enough, this movie took place in the now, no problem. She could easily do her job from anywhere. And nowadays, that's why a lot of people are able to move is because it turns out, oh yeah, I can do my job from anywhere. So yeah, Molly, freaking boss. Freaking boss. Oh my God, that is a great freaking that's not a theory. That's full blown. No, that redefines the entire movie right there. I love it. And we are preserving posterity.
Yeah, because as I was watching this, of course, you see spiders in it, but I was looking at things through experience. Like, I was like, there were little things she would do and he would do, and he would always counteract, like, no, I got it, I got it. And then first move to a house that the wood is like rotten, you didn't even pay attention. And then when they went to the party that was thrown for them, they didn't really like anybody. They were just walking around just like, oh my God, this is how people are. Even when his wife was sitting down with that coach and she was like, oh, nepotism? Like,
yeah, great freaking line. Yeah, nepotism. Oh, actually, we're Baptists.
yeah. So obviously you could see that even though she was a successful person and, the kids could have anything they want, she believed in hard work. Like that right there lets you know, like her kids is not going to be getting everything they want. But she left. They were successful. He said, my wife was a successful broker. I heard that. And I was like, but now she's like basically a housewife. Like she had money.
A housewife and an aspiring photographer.
Yeah. But she had no worries. Like she made more money. She was this. And it was just male pride, like I want to be able to provide, and he uprooted because she was successful in their city and everyone knew her. But if he could take them somewhere else, he could make a name for himself.
And not even with Ross, you can extend this to pretty much every man in the movie in terms of where they stand when it comes to male ego. I mean, Atherton, as we've seen, his ego was through the damn roof, which is why he pridefully walks into the spider's den thinking he's going to be fine, and then nope, like dies like immediately. Whereas you got someone like Chris Collins, who approaches everything with the utmost caution and delicacy, and also he listens to everybody, and nothing he does in this movie is ever motivated by ego. It is entirely for the sake of making sure we're doing the right thing, that we're doing it right. But then you got Metcalf on the other hand, who is pretty much like the entitled old guy.
Hmm.
Because unfortunately, one problem with a lot of the old is that it doesn't matter if they have the talent or not. I mean, and it was established Metcalf was not even liked when he first moved in. He had to basically suck up to everybody and schmooze with everybody. And even then, people have always been standoffish about him because but they put up with him because he's the town doctor.
But
But
see, that's how Ross started. He
yeah,
started kind of like, oh, I better be nice to everybody. But then when he realized like people were dying and no one's taking it very seriously, he kind of pushed that aside. Like, I guess nobody likes me, but we need to look at these bodies. We need
yeah.
to figure it out. And once he had the opportunity, or for the, excuse me, for the oh my God, what was his name? The coroner or whatever who
Oh,
gave him,
Milk
yeah,
Gray.
yeah,
Yeah,
gave him like, hey, let him do it because there's some weird stuff going on. And and he did, and they found out what was, and it was like, okay, let's get what we need to get going.
yeah,
But yeah, so but he had to the arc for Ross, you could see that as soon as he get to the play to the house, onto when he has to fight, he had to like face his fear, but
hmm,
his fear was not the spider. It was that he had to put aside his pride and step back and let things happen where they should have been and not be, he put his family in danger, not taking the extra precautions.
yeah,
And that's what that's what I saw the entire movie, because they
yeah.
could have stayed in the town or they could have moved a different part of the town. No, they went back
Back.
to and where she was the breadwinner or whatever. Now she got her job back. Now he could probably have another practice there. It realized that he didn't need to move to be to be something important for him and his family. He needed to work together with his wife. And
Yeah.
even though he was halfway done, she was the one that helped him out in the first place when he got it loose and was able to leave. She was still
Mhm.
right there. She was still there supporting him. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I saw the movie as.
that's great. I I I love the movie more now because I have this in my head. And I love you more for putting it in my head because frankly, it's brilliant. I love it. And I'm very happy that this came out now and that it is preserved for posterity so everyone else can hear it. I'm not even going to bother with my final thoughts on the movie because frankly, now my thoughts are your thoughts. So yeah, and
Oh, I'm sorry.
so
I
unlike
know. I
Ross,
feel like that was a little deep, though.
I am going to give you credit for everything because frankly, that was utterly brilliant. So we'll just go ahead and do our top kill in this movie.
Oh man, the top kill. Um, oh my goodness. Oh, there's so many.
Well, it all
Um,
in the end just amounts to like spider bite, but it's like I think a matter
yeah.
of just like how they set up, like how we get to that
I
point.
I'm gonna have to say it was the photographer in the
Manly,
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think, he was already going through it. And then, he
Hmm.
just reached in because he felt something moving and you could just see the fangs just
Yeah.
deep. I was just like, oh, and it was like, that's it. I think plus it worked so fast on him
Hmm.
as well because he was already sick and weak and it just really got to him way quicker than I saw that the other people. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one, and it sets the stage. It immediately tells people that this spider is definitely not something to be fucked with.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well. So that is a good one. I am not disputing that. I think just because I love seeing the prideful get hoisted by their own petard, I'm going to give it to Atherton. Just because, yeah, I'm sorry. Here you are, a freaking academic dude, knowing full well what these spiders are full of, and you decide to go up there with a freaking Tupperware bowl, thinking that's going to be sufficient. You know,
Hmm.
you
But
deserved it.
another thing, because of that, people who didn't take what was given to them seriously are the ones end up dead
Yeah.
for the main part. So Ross was headed that way until he had to realize, like, okay, I have to put my pride away and
Hmm.
really so, stand up against what my fear is, and it's not spiders, is that no, I won't be taken seriously and make a name for myself.
I think the other thing that's cool about Ross, and you can definitely see this is where the kickoff for his arc really is when he finds that, well, first off, he's beginning to he wants to just think of Margaret as just a pretty much his only patient, like his meal ticket for all intents and purposes.
Hmm.
And he's cracking jokes about, oh, well, let's hope she's riddled with disease, and that'll basically be like having six patients in one. But I
Hmm.
love that the minute he sees her dead, I love that it's not about his vanity. He's not because he comes to like Margaret because Margaret really reached out. She was the only person in town to reach out to him, as someone to really try to make him a part of the community. She's the only one that did that to the point where she opens up the entire town to meet him.
Hmm.
And I love the scene like right afterwards where he's sitting there with his wine, just like pondering. It's like, this is not right. Like she was healthy. She was perfectly healthy. And it's not about ego with him. It's flat out about the fact that no, she was perfectly healthy. And I
Well,
know damn well that I was, and it's not about I was right like for my ego, but I was right that she could have lived a very long life. So this does not make sense.
well, this is not about like what I was saying about the whole thing is when I was reading that, it's about patriarchy in his family.
Hmm.
How you're viewed outside is completely different because that I was looking at the relationship with his family and
Hmm.
how it was important that he was looked at as the breadwinner, as the protector, as the father, even though he had this fear, and to have this fear of a certain bug, and you move to a country that could have this certain bug, he that's the pride. Like I could do it, knowing he couldn't do it alone.
Hmm.
He wanted to do it alone, but he needed his wife, he needed his kids, he needed to set aside that patriarchy mind and say, you know what? This is not for me. But he was holding on to something that he just didn't want to let go because he'd feel like a failure. I
Yeah.
think so. It had nothing to do with the patients or the doctor. It was just, I'm the successful doctor. You are a broker. You stay at home. I could do this. And you could see is even his attitude changed when he got the patients. Who's next? And then
Hmm.
he walking out very happy, getting,
Yeah. Doing a
and
little
then
dance.
she's knocking, putting the pictures up, and he's just like, very, because it's
Yeah.
like I could do it. I see. I told you, even though it wasn't the correct way to do it.
Hmm.
But then
Yeah.
things started to fall apart. So yeah,
Gotcha.
that's the how I was putting it, not the ego towards the other patients and the people. It
Oh
was
yeah.
yeah, because
Very
he
good.
really kept bringing up how she was successful
Hmm.
and how she left everything behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go. Thank you for clarifying. Thank you for clarifying.
Mhm.
All right, everybody. So that is arachnophobia, and oh man, we really dug deep into this one, as I was kind of hoping to, because this is for me one of my favorite of the Nature Strikes Back variety, as well. So this was a delight. But so as for our customary wrap up, let's go ahead and do our random recommendations. Have you seen anything new or old for the first time that you'd love to tell everyone about?
Ooh, I haven't been looking at the new stuff that's in the theaters because I've been focusing on the independent,
Hmm.
smaller groups of people that I've came across. The movie The Kraken.
Oh
I saw
yeah.
I saw that.
How is that?
I saw that yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. How was it?
Yeah.
You know, it I could if you took The Abyss,
Okay.
Deep Rising,
Okay.
and oh, the Leviathan.
Ooh. And underwater?
No,
Oh.
no, no,
Uh,
not underwater. There's parts. See, because I'm doing a full movie review,
okay.
so I'm trying not to, because I start writing my script, because I'm gonna do a full thing on it. But yeah, if you take parts of those movies and you squish them together and then shave it off, you got the crack.
Okay.
It's
I'm down
it's
with that.
I mean, I can't like because I don't want to give up. I can't give up anything, but
Yeah.
It's interesting watch. It is Norwegian, so there are subtitles. A little bit of English is said in there when it comes across the people that do speak it, but it's mostly Norwegian. Uh,
Okay, I'm down with that.
but uh, it's interesting.
Okay,
It does have was it HP Lovecraft thing
Lovecraft.
going on, but not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Okay,
So,
nice.
but you do see it.
Oh, I'm down.
And you do, you know how you see parts of things and barely have?
Mm,
No, this sucker, you see it. And I was
love
just
it.
like, it was
Hell yeah.
huge. And you're like, and then you kind of think of logic. Like, how could it come up from that's too
Yeah.
big? It'd crushed it down. But that sucker was like Godzilla.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Nice.
It had a very sad ending, but it's
Oh,
good. That's all I'm
good.
gonna say. But it was
I
good.
yeah, I got the trailer from Pixel Scene, so I did do a trailer reaction to it. So I that one I will. I usually whenever
It's
I
worth the watch. It
yeah, I
is.
definitely do want to get around to watching it. Funny enough, well, as of recording, I just wrapped up a weekend at Spooky Empire, but on Thursday night when we were waiting, we got in a little bit early before like the Thursday night festivities. So we pulled up my Tubi on the TV and I watched another Nature Strikes Back movie, which was honestly, it was fun. It was harmless, but it was a lot of fun. I finally saw Bats with Lou
Wait, was with
Phillips.
Lewis?
Lou
Oh,
Diamond Phillips. Yeah.
oh my
I
God, I
had,
love that movie. It's so
I had
stupid. It's like it's like funny. It's
It's
like so
fun. It's a
outrageous.
fun
Yeah.
ass movie. You know, Lou Diamond Phillips, Dina Meyer, friggin' Bob Gunton and Leon all just they all know the assignment, but I had a great time with Bats.
Yeah.
I had a fun time with that movie, and a lot of I would definitely put it in the same camp as something as Anaconda, where it definitely embraces the campy nature of it. I
Mhm.
think I will say Anaconda is still the better film because I think it has better characters and more. And let's face it, it's got John Voight chewing up the scenery. But that still is one where everyone involved looks like they're loving the assignment and they're just having a great time with it. And I got to give it, they're doing stuff with bats, like they really are having fun with the whole concept of killer bats. So
And they use some bats,
yeah,
real bats.
yeah, real bats. And Dina Meyer freaking being a boss, like she, you know, like she is, she's awesome in the movie. So I really dug it. As far as anything recent, just today I was able to steal time to go see Backrooms as well.
Mm.
And I've only seen the original short film that it was based on. In the annals of I believe liminal horror, I think is the term to describe it now. I'm still going to say Exit 8 is the better film in that ilk
Mm.
that came out this year. I say Exit 8 is way better. But I will say Backroom still has a lot of worth. Acting's through the roof. And when it comes to expanding a concept from a YouTube short to this, I was really impressed with how far they were able to take it. So I wasn't as in love with it as I was with Exit 8, but I still will maintain, much like how with Curry Barker's success with Obsession, I'm really impressed with where this filmmaker came from his origins and how well he was able to adapt on a grander scale and
Mm.
make a really well-made film in the process. So if you love the internet series, yeah, worth a shot, worth a go. And again, I'm loving where we're at right now, where people in the YouTube community are busting out and doing amazing things right now. It's been an incredible year. Just even if the movies, one thing I'm noticing this year is that even if the movies aren't 100% awesome, they're still at the very least fun to watch. So I can't say I've walked away from any horror film this year pissed or like, oh God damn.
No, no, yeah, not this year. Last
Yeah.
year, yeah, many. Oh,
Yeah.
quite a few. But this year, there's movies I still have to see, but I just been really
Mm,
getting a lot of indie short film, like small group people who want me to see
yeah.
their films and stuff like that. And I've came across like some were just spectacular. There was one like real quick, like some of these films are just amazing. It's like how where they at? But anyway, so one the Whistler. I don't know if you came across that, the Whistler.
Not that one. I mean, I've seen Whistle, but not with the
Yeah,
Whistle.
the Whistler. Basically, the if you what I really did find this much more creepy, woof, was that when you hear the whistle, the monster is far away.
Ah, and it's always far away, or like it's always like
The
there.
louder the whistle, the further the monster is.
Oh no.
Yes, it's
Oh
completely
no.
opposite.
Oh,
So,
that's
if
a
you're
fun
standing
little
there and
flip.
you barely hear a toad, it's to get
That's
you.
kind of messing with your perception because commonly if it's loud, that means it's closer. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
So when I was watching that, I got confused. Like it took me a minute to get the movie because I'm like, and then it gets them. I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense because in your mind, when something
Yeah.
is loud, it doesn't explain
I'm
it right away. So when it's loud, you're like, ooh, the monster's there. But no, it's when you
yeah.
so you have to, if you barely hear it, you got to get to it. You got to get to the sound fast as you can.
That's you know what that's kind of I'm loving that this is another thing that's been coming around with horror recently with using audio as a major device. I mean, Undertone was another movie that really used audio to its peak, but that's I'm loving the sound of this because it's someone who's obviously using sound mixing as a means to attack the audience from a different angle because commonly scares are mainly a visual
Yeah,
thing.
this
So
one was way different. So it got me like, wait,
that's
what?
great.
And then once the story reveals itself, there's a reason. There's a
Ah,
reason why it's like that because I was like, that's kind of like it's even though it's creepy, I was like, this is stupid. Like I just
yeah.
felt like, come on, like something's not right here. But then when it plays out, you're like, oh,
Oh,
there is a reason for it. Because the kid, the something happened. It was a hunter. And when you're out there hunting, you want to be as quiet as possible, but you
hmm.
also want to be able to make noise to get to whatever you need to get to. So it reverses it, but there's a whole, it'll do more explanation. But I was like,
Yeah.
okay. That one was good. And then there was another one that the Juggernaut, completely silent, no
Ooh.
sound. I mean, there's sound, but they don't talk. But it reminded me of because I do this thing called horror movies Rex and ratings. I don't know if you ever
Mm.
seen
Yeah,
those
I've seen
pop
them.
up.
Yeah.
And so
On
I do those do pop up once in a while. But yeah, that one called Juggernaut is a short film from overseas, and it reminded me of Pet Cemetery and Evil Dead 2,
ooh.
and it was beautifully shot.
Oh
I
wow.
it's a short film. It's only 20 minutes long, but I mean the visuals and what is happening was just beautiful. And
Where can we see these?
this one is on we we oh my God. It's on my
Weibo?
because wait, who?
Weibo?
No. This
No.
one it's on my YouTube. I just did a video about it. Um
Well, I mean, well, let's have people.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, just go ahead and tell people where you can find your video so they can find your review.
Yeah, it's horror movies and beyond that, hold on. I gotta jump the gun here.
Ah!
So yeah, so it's my platform is horror movies and beyond. I review horror movies and interview people from the movies that you watch
Mm-hmm.
most of the time. But I just recently did a breakdown Rex and ratings where it has The Whistler,
Mm-hmm.
The Juggernaut, and Stalker Jane is all three movies I talk about on that new video that posted a couple of days ago. And it also explains how I do horror movies and beyond approved. Not every movie I watch is approved, but this specifically shows you how and why these specific movies or any other movies I do have the approved stamp from me.
Nice.
So, but yeah, but
Beautiful.
I no one pays me.
They should.
Even if they did, I've had someone wanting to pay me, and I said I'm going to tell the truth regardless of what your movie and what you're paying. And he was okay with it, and I said okay, and movie turned out to be really good. So I was like,
Okay.
lucky for him. He trusted me, but yeah, so but that was one particular movie, but I usually don't get paid. Everything I say is the truth, but I also go in depth. Like I find things that people don't see Just like how this movie, Arachnophobia, was about a what? A relationship?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Well, no, this is why I have you back all the time because I know you're going to bring something.
and I did that for
Yeah,
dolls
with
too.
dolls. No, that was I think the first episode we did together. And
Yeah.
dolls, that one we ended up going a heck of a lot deeper into than we expected because that was like even for me, I was like going, no, there's a lot more going on in that movie. Our episode ended up going on longer than the actual movie, so it's like, no, that's
Yeah.
what you bring to the table, and that's why I love having you on the show.
Well,
So
thank you. Thank
yeah,
you. So
and so
yeah,
I
you
hope
could check me out there, and Instagram, TikTok.
Mhm.
Those are mainly the ones I'm
Yeah,
mostly
and
active on.
YouTube naturally.
Oh yeah, YouTube. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
yeah,
Like,
the two of you.
share, tell people,
Yeah.
enjoy all the videos.
Yeah, that's right. All right, everybody. So that was Arachnophobia. Fantastic. I had a great time with this one. Everyone stay tuned for our last installment of Nature Strikes Back Again month when me, Natalie, and Lynn tackle Orca, the killer whale. And then after that, it's the month of August where we're just going to be doing some random stuff. I'm actually trying to talk with Emma of the Impact to come back to hopefully have us talk about American Psycho. At some point. And then in September, it is Horror by Proxy month once again, because we had a great time doing that, where this year we are going to be doing the titles that we are going to be doing are Addams Family 1 and Addams Family Values, The Witches, Darkman, and Ernest Scared Stupid.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you have guests for that?
We can if you want.
Picking witches.
You picking
The
the witches?
Witches. I
Yeah,
love that movie.
yeah, okay. Then that's a date. Then it is the wit. Then you will happily.
And there's so much stuff in that movie.
Oh yeah, I might even be tempted to read the book in preparation for it. You know, just to
Dang,
see.
I should read
I
them.
should too, just as much. But so everyone, we got a lot of great stuff to look forward to for the months to come. So join us for that. And in case you wish to delve into the dark bowels of human imagination, ask yourself the simple question: what's in the podcast? Thank you for joining us on this edition of What's in the Podcast. If you find yourself hungry for more deep cuts, seriously morbid and macabre, you can also find us on TikTok, BlueSky, and YouTube at Narcotic Casserole. You can also follow us on Instagram at Narcotic Casserole 25. Follow us if you dare.